Welcome to the Adventure Story Podcast. First, let me take 20 seconds to tell you about my new book. What if we've been looking for Atlantis in the wrong place? When an archaeologist dies protecting an impossible secret, her final message sends Eden Black racing into the Sahara to find an ancient crystal encoded with the knowledge of a lost civilization. It's the power that once turned a paradise into a wasteland. From high-speed chases through Marrakesh to an underground chamber older than recorded history, Eden must face a rogue scientist determined to use the crystal to reshape the world. Last time it awakened, the Sahara was born. This time, it could end everything. The Sahara event is the 7th in my Eden Black archaeological thriller series. Search for the Sahara event by me, Luke Richardson, wherever you get your adventures. Right, let's get on with the episode. It's 1924 in the ancient Mayan city of Lubaantun. The ruins rise from the Belizean jungle like stone ships in a green ocean. 17-year-old Anna Mitchell-Hedges is helping her adoptive father's archaeological dig, probably wondering why they always had to go places with loads of bugs and no air conditioning. The team has been clearing debris from beneath the collapsed altar all morning before breaking for lunch. Anna stays behind. Maybe she's being a stubborn teenager, or maybe she knows that something incredible is about to happen. She picks through the rubble with her feet when the ground starts to shift beneath her. Before she can call out or move to grab hold of something, the stone floor completely gives way. Anna plunges down through the darkness, a heartbeat of terror, before landing hard on packed earth about 15 feet below. As the dust settles and her eyes adjust to the gloom, she realizes she's in some kind of ceremonial chamber. Rays of sunlight pierce the hole above, dancing across ancient walls covered in worn Mayan glyphs. And there, on an altar in the centre of the chamber, something catches the light and throws it back at her 1,000 times brighter. Anna rubs her eyes, blinks, but the image doesn't change. She climbs shakily to her feet and takes a tentative step forward, then gasps. What she's looking at is something too well produced for the civilization they're investigating. It's perfect. It's impossible. It's a human skull, entirely carved from crystal. Sunlight plays through it like liquid, casting rainbow patterns on the chamber walls. But the truly bizarre detail, and the thing that would cause so much controversy later, is that it has a detachable jawbone, a feature unique among all known crystal skulls. Anna later claimed she could feel heat emanating from the skull itself, even though the crystal should have been cool to the touch. She cries out, desperate to get out of the chamber with the eerie artifact. Hearing the noise, the workers return and help her out. When they learn of what's inside, many refuse to go back, claiming that something there just isn't right. Here's where our story takes a turn from the realm of archaeology into something far stranger. Hey, I'm Luke. I'm an author of archaeological adventure novels. I travel the world looking for stories to put into my books and share with you right here on the Adventure Story Podcast. Remember that scene in Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, where Indy is sat in the diner hearing about the Crystal Skull for the first time? He mutters something about Mitchell-Hedges, which if you don't know, you might just think was a bit of movie magic. But it's not. That's the thing. The Mitchell-Hedges skull is very, very real. And what's more, some people believe it actually has supernatural powers. Let's get to the bottom of it. After finding the skull in her teenage years, Anna Mitchell-Hedges spent her whole life making extraordinary claims about its powers. Claims that sound like they're something straight out of one of my books. According to Anna, who kept the skull until her death in 2007, Strange things happened when people went near it. She claimed that neighbours could see mysterious lights flickering in her house at night, emanating from the room where she kept the skull. She told stories of people being spontaneously healed after spending time with the skull, and others reported vivid visions of past and future things whilst meditating near it. She also claimed that on certain nights, particularly during the full moon, the skull would emit a faint bluish glow. She said she could sometimes hear it resonating with a high-pitched sound, almost at the edge of human hearing. And, most incredibly, she claimed the skull would occasionally change temperature on its own, becoming warm to the touch, even in a cold room. Anna even went on to claim that the skull had predicted several major world events, including aspects of World War II. She then said she'd received these premonitions in dreams after spending time meditating, yeah, you guessed it, with the skull. Now, if you're thinking this all sounds a bit far-fetched, you're not alone. The scientific community was, let's say, sceptical about Anna's claims. But perhaps the most compelling aspect of Anna's relationship to the skull was her absolute conviction of its powers. She refused offers of millions of dollars to sell it, saying that the skull was a sacred object that needed to be protected. She kept it until her death, and in her final years she would still talk about its mysterious properties with the same wide-eyed wonder as that 17-year-old girl who allegedly found it in the ruins. Now, we can't talk about this legend without mentioning Anna's father, self-dubbed explorer F.A. Mitchell-Hedges. He's a fascinating guy. Born in 1882 to a wealthy London family, Mitchell-Hedges spent his inheritance funding expeditions to Central America. He claims to have discovered lost cities in the Honduran jungle, fought pirates in the Caribbean, I know it sounds great, doesn't it, and found evidence, get this one, of Atlantis in the Bahamas. In his 1931 book, The Land of Wonder and Fear, he tells these tales with such conviction that you almost want to believe them. Almost. The thing is, most of his discoveries were already well documented by other explorers, and many of his adventures seem to have been, shall we say, embellished. Interestingly though, in this same book, The Land of Wonder and Fear, he's happy to talk about every other adventure under the sun, but he doesn't think to mention the crystal skull. Not one word. Doesn't even mention it. This is supposedly 3 years after his daughter discovered the magical thing, so it strikes me as a little odd to forget to put it in there. Say we cast this whole thing off as a bit of creative fiction, and there's nothing wrong with creative fiction, as I hope, at least. There is still one mystery that remains unanswered. No one has been able to explain fully how the skull was made. The crystal itself is a single piece of extraordinarily pure quartz, and the craftsmanship is remarkable, even by today's standards. It's a mystery, certainly. Is it magic? Probably not. Does it make a great story? Absolutely. So where is this mysterious skull today? Well, after Anna Mitchell-Hedges passed away in 2007, aged 100, the skull found its way into the hands of Bill Homan, her widower. He continues to tour with it, allowing people to experience its alleged powers for themselves. I bet there's a fee involved though. The skull sits in a custom-made wooden box lined with purple velvet, still catching the light just as it did in that jungle chamber, supposedly, all those years ago. Homan claims it still exhibits the same mysterious properties as Anna described. The unexplained temperature changes, the faint humming, the strange lights. He's even added his own stories to the skull's lengthy legend, saying he witnessed it glow blue during a total solar eclipse in Mexico. Maybe it is an ancient Mayan artifact with mystical powers, or a masterpiece of Victorian craftsmanship that no one can quite explain, or simply an elaborate hoax dreamed up by a professional adventure storyteller. There's one thing that's undeniable though: the Mitchell-Hedges skull continues to captivate our imagination. Maybe sometimes the most powerful artifacts aren't the ones with the actual supernatural powers, but the ones that make us wonder, make us question, what if? This is the Adventure Story Podcast. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. It's great to spend some time with you. If you've enjoyed today's show, please subscribe, like and share. It'll take just seconds, but helps me spread the word more than you know. If you have a story you'd like me to explore, let me know in the comments or email me directly, hello@lukerichardsonauthor.com. Also, if you need some more adventure in your life, and let's be honest, who doesn't, you might want to join me and my Adventure Society crew. This weekly newsletter is your ticket to travel with me, share real-world adventures, and find out first when a new story drops or a new season of the podcast becomes available. lukerichardsonauthor.com/adventure society. lukerichardsonauthor.com/adventure society. A special thanks to my patrons who make creating like this in different ways possible. All my books and podcasts are dedicated to you, and everything else, to be fair. You keep me motivated when times get tough and focused when something else threatens to steal my attention, like booking plane tickets or a round-the-world cruise or learning a language in a country that I probably wouldn't go to anyway. Many of you have been supporting me since the very early days, and for that I'm incredibly grateful. If you'd like to support me and my various creations, consider joining the crew on Patreon, Patreon. You'll get free and early access to my books, commercial-free direct downloads of this podcast, and loads more, some of which has not even been invented yet. lukerichardsonauthor.com/Patreon, Patreon. And if you're a fan of adventure stories like the one I've told today, check out my books at lukerichardsonauthor.com. Thanks so much, bon voyage, enjoy the adventure, and I'll see you next time.